Chris, thank you for being here. We've had fun chatting about this. If Pilsner Urquell really defines the style, they have the name. That's everything about them. But you're telling me it's their fermentation that's creating that diacetyl. There are others out there that don't have it. Where do we go? Is Pilsner Urquell really as traditional as we think it is?
You can have different opinions about it. And, honestly, they can all be right. The thing is, this beer in style, right, is so old. So we're talking about something very old in current terms versus even different than 20 years ago. But for the last time I've been in this industry, 31 years, I've been exploring this from the aspect of it doesn't define the style. Because the Pilsner Urquell we get here, especially over the years I've been here, is old. So it means there's a certain amount of precursor for diacetyl. I was excited to go to Pilsen the first time, and I was, like I've talked to other people, are surprised too. Oh, there's diacetyl here too. But sometimes, but not always. And I haven't tasted it in the cellars in Pilsner Urquell. So it's not the fermentation so much. I think it's the maturation. The maturation times have changed in Bohemia and Bavaria. It used to be a lot longer. And people have come up with methods to shorten that maturation. Budvar and others in the Czech Republic still do that 8 to 12 week maturation and then don't have diacetyl. Who's right and who's wrong? So it's debated there too. It's debated here. And I think in the context of our current craft and home brewing industry, I would make the case that it shouldn't be there.
Just because we understand it that much better, maybe, and how to control it.
We understand it, and also looking at the historical longer maturation times. Now, they also didn't have the same aseptic technique, so was diacetyl more present? Certainly was in the UK. That was a different style, but they were also pretty industrial and things. And lager yeast has always had a challenge on picking up the diacetyl at the colder temperatures, and that's why you can do a longer maturation. Or you could do the other techniques that were introduced to raise the temperature to remove the precursor. The current area of the Czech Republic, Bohemia, was always colder than the other parts of Europe doing lagers. So warming it up maybe wasn't an option. They did longer maturation times. They all probably do about the same fermentation time, which is a little bit longer than a lot of other people do as well now. Their fermentation time is about as what we do in maturation here. So, and then they're doing that, and then they're doing maturation. They really do things quite differently. And I love that. I just think that since Pilsner Urquell has had diacetyl in the U.S. because they have that shorter maturation, because they have that colder temperature without a raise, and because it has the higher precursor levels, does that really mean we should judge beers based on accepting diacetyl? And there's a movement in people in the Czech Republic trying to get our guidelines changed, feeling that shouldn't say diacetyl. So it's not just me saying it, it's just talking to people. And it's also realizing that, even the late, great Michael Jackson, he argued for diacetyl being in some beers, like why not? And he was a great authority on beer flavors and history.
Well, let's switch gears now. When you and I were having a beer at your lab there beautiful lab there in Asheville, right before HomebrewCon started, you were telling me about Budvar. You didn't detect any diacetyl in it. What's the difference and what was their position on diacetyl? They
have not changed the maturation. It's certainly not less than 8 weeks that I know of. And they're proud of that. They have gone to conical fermenters. They've introduced some newer technologies, but they have stuck with the longer maturation time. And if you're not going to raise the temperature for diacetyl rest to help that lager yeast pick it up, you're either going to do a shorter time and have higher precursor levels in diacetyl, or you're going to do a longer time and not have diacetyl. And they choose to do the longer time and have a diacetyl-free, nice Czech pale lager.
Do you think Pilsner Urquell does not consider it a defect, but instead an aspect of the flavor profile?
But it's not always there, and that's the problem, right? But I think, they would probably have a very different, that can be there or cannot be there. That's okay. I mean, they built a huge market, so I can't argue that that's bad.
Yeah, but now that inconsistency bothers me. I mean, Charlie Bamsforth talks about that. Whatever it is, that beer ought to taste like that beer
right
every time.
They should strive to produce that beer every time.
So you can make it 0. That's going to be the way it tastes. or, close to zero. Or you can have that precursor level sitting up high and then having diacetyl sometimes based on transport, not having diacetyl sometimes on just cold to cold transfers. Like a lot of Pilsner Urquell is delivered in the Czech Republic just from tank, from maturation to truck to stadium or to wherever else. So it's not packaged or kegged, or they directly fill serving tanks. Each place you go, it's a taste a little different.
Well, let's switch gears to the craft brewers out there, and you want a little diacetyl. You feel like that's an important part of the Czech Pilsner style. Do you think you can control and shorten that fermentation so you get a fairly predictable profile? Or would craft brewers that want a little diacetyl be better off just to let it ferment completely out and add back a little diacetyl to get the profile that they want?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, because I guess that option of adding back is a theoretical possibility. I don't know of anybody doing it, and maybe you do. But then you just got to own it. Like you got to be proud of it and stick this timeline of acceptance. That may change. It may have ebbed and flow over the years. I like Pilsner Urquell.
I've judged with you before, but we've never had a Czech Pilsner. So we're at a judging table. 3 other judges. We've got Czech Pilsners there. We've got one with no diacetyl. We've got one with a little diacetyl, and another one that's a bit more in your face. We got to pick one.
That's a tough table to be at, and I've been at a table like that. Certainly 20 years ago, there was more debate. I feel like the tables now are a little more prone to no diacetyl. But as a judge, if it says it's accepted in low levels, you have to evaluate that beer based on those guidelines. So I do that. I wouldn't throw it out for diacetyl.
So it sounds like it would be more personal preference between the one with no diacetyl, the other with a perceptible level of diacetyl, but seems within an acceptable profile.
Because what would you do if you had a table of Pilsner Urquell? It gets thrown out because of diacetyl? That doesn't seem right. But I also don't want it in the judging guidelines. So I sit on both sides. But once in a while, I'll have a Pilsner Urquell. Because it's awesome and it's a great brewery.
Well, I want to follow up with this, maybe before, but I hope to see you in Asheville in a couple of months in October. And maybe we can follow up with some of the questions there.
I'm really, really curious about your audience because I think most would say no diacetyl, but understand that it's in there. It can be in there because of Pilsner Urquell. I'm just providing some information about the historical side, the technical side. There's a consequence of going to a shorter maturation time, and doesn't mean it's bad beer. Puts this diacetyl part in a little bit of debate.
Let me know in the comments kind of what you think, and if you think it should be a little diacetyl in there, how do you figure the balance out? Because it sounds like when does it go out of balance would be fun. Well, Chris, this is great. May see you before then somewhere else, but if not, we'll meet up in Asheville at your beautiful brewery and tap room and lab there, and maybe we can talk some more.
Love to.
Can we do that?
See you soon.